Welcome.
Mike, one of the things, right now, I believe that the hearing is still may still be going on. It was live on Law and Crime, but they're talking about, and the deal here, right?
Right.
They, the defense hired a firm to basically do a survey of the Latah County community. They called 400 people, and they asked them questions to do with this case. And by asking some of these questions, and some of them, they fed them evidence, they fed them information,
Oh, yeah.
which perhaps they had never read before. But that is what the judge and the prosecution is objecting to. First of all, there was a non dissemination order.
Right.
And that means it's a gag order. And the defense attorney blew that to smithereens. And I don't care, anyone wants to say, oh, she blew it up. She didn't just burn the bridge, she blew it to pieces.
Yeah, Billy, it's last month, judge renewed the gag order, and both the prosecution and the defense are not to communicate with any potential jurors in any way, shape, or form. And their first, go at the jurors to interview them is when they're picking the jury pool, going through the jury pool, assembling them, and picking the panel that's actually going to be listening to the case. And what they did wasn't like weren't standing on a street corner and asking passerbys, hey, what are your thoughts about the Kohberger case? Some of the questions that they actually used, they called people, cold calls, and they asked stuff about, they asked whether or not that, did you know that people claim that they live in fear until Brian Kohberger was arrested? Have you ever heard that Brian Kohberger actually stopped and talked to one of the victims? Did you ever hear that Brian Kohberger had followed one of the victims on social media, planting actually ideas in people's head through these questions? Someone was so freaked out about it, they complained to the Latah County District Attorney's Office. And that's how this whole Megillah erupted. Totally improper. Totally improper.
Well, Mike, one of the things that I find, and look, I don't have a law degree. I was in the police department for 27 years, and I've been around the court a lot. But what I find, it's almost like it's a stacked deck, because the defense wants a change of venue.
Oh, yeah.
What better way to get a change of venue than to take the jury pool yourself?
Exactly.
That's why I'm shocked that the judge isn't furious, absolutely furious that the defense did this, because she just tainted 400 potential jurors, right?
Right.
And what her excuse was, and I'm going to play a little bit of the hearing from before, is that the probable cause affidavit gave the whole community, gave all the citizens information on what the prosecution had, the evidence they had. And if anything tainted the jury pool, that was it, the probable cause affidavit. Your thoughts?
Billy, even if she felt that way, that the district attorney, through releasing, those affidavits, making them public, even if she felt that way, it still doesn't justify her revenge, jury pool tainting. If she wanted to make a complaint to the local bar association, the prosecutors bar association, the county bar association, Utah State Bar Association against Bill Thompson, or she could have brought it up to the judge and asked for asked him to initiate some sort of disciplinary proceeding, have a hearing on this sort of thing. That didn't happen. And it seemed like she unilaterally decided all on her own that perhaps, if I'm not going to wait until I'm picking the jury in the box. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to preempt everything, and I will taint the jury pool. I'm a very cynical person, so I think this way. And she can claim that she did it not directly, but indirectly through this third party, this company, and that she had no way of knowing what questions would be asked. So she could get the results she wants and then wipe her hands clean and say,
That is so, Mike, that is so lame, so not believable, and
right,
so against. I mean,
right,
first of all, if the prosecution did something like this, I
right,
think everyone would be throwing up their hands and saying prosecutorial misconduct.
exactly.
Now, the defense is doing this, and I find what Ann Taylor did extremely egregious. First of all, at the very least, she violated the gag order, and she is an officer of the court.
She could be held in contempt. Sure.
Yes. But would the judge ever do that? No, because he won't do it, because then he'd open himself up for an appeal before this case even gets started.
Right.
So it's like she sort of got him by the kiliones, as we say in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, she doesn't have much to work with. I mean, they have the touch DNA that they originally had. They had they also verified the accuracy of that touch DNA with the DNA test later on, much more thorough, done in Pennsylvania when he was picked up. So they know they got him on this. She doesn't have much to work with. She doesn't have a good deck, a hand of cards to work with. She knows where this is going. She's doing her best. I personally feel that she's gone way past the canon of ethics, and she's supposed to zealously advocate for a client, but zealously advocate within the bounds and guidelines of your ethical duty under the state code of ethics for defense attorneys. She's gone way beyond that. I hope there will be some sanctions in place. I'm not sure what the judge will do. I can tell you, Bill, judge may be very, very calm on the outside when they're actually having the hearing and it's public and everything's on the record. But I would imagine that when they get behind closed doors, when Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor gets in his chambers behind closed doors, I'm sure he's going to rip somebody new butt. And I can guess who that one is. So there may be some punishment, but he doesn't want to do anything right now to totally flip the trial over. He wants to keep the cart slowly going towards the trial date because he doesn't want an appealable issue for her later on down the line. That's my guess at this point.
100%.